Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome back. It is me, BrittReacts, and today we're going to react to Bill Maher silences Whoopi Goldberg and dismantles The View on live TV.
What occurs when two of TV's most vocal personalities clash? Known for his unrestrained opinions, Bill Maher recently went off on Whoopi Goldberg and The View in a way that had never been seen on television before. However, was this an isolated outburst, or is there more going on here? You'll be shocked to learn the brutal realities about the program that has dominated daytime television for so long. You don't want to miss this showdown, so stay put.
My message to the losers, look in the mirror, no?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We have a hot topic today that is upending the TV talk show industry. The king of political commentary, Bill Maher, just went on TV and attacked Whoopi Goldberg and the whole cast of The View. And believe me, this chat is full of unexpected drama, heated debates, and unvarnished truth bombs. You won't want to miss any of the facts. Watch this space for the whole breakdown. Okay, let's get started.
Goldberg, who should not be canceled, put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement.
If you've watched Real Time with Bill Maher, you're aware that he never holds back when expressing his opinions. In a recent episode, he did just that, but this time his target was Whoopi Goldberg and the popular talk show The View. However,
all right, I have two things to say. One, I'm a little disappointed because I thought this would be Bill Maher rhymes with jar at The View, face to face. Second of all, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people label something as an outburst or like a big confrontation when it's simply just someone stating the facts, maybe a little bit more passionately, but I just am already did he have an outburst? Was it an outburst? I don't know. People do that all the time. I'm like, that doesn't constitute an outburst. That was just someone really letting you know how they felt or the truth or whatever, and you didn't like it. So you classified it as something offensive. Dang it, I thought this was going to be a one-on-one face-to-face. They called him the king of political commentary. Do you guys agree with that? I do think both of these shows are highly viewed and highly regarded for a chunk of the country, if not maybe even the world. I think, they have a side most of the time. They can be polarizing most of the time. I think The View used to be really good at balancing their panel with women of all different everything, honestly. Race, religion, voting, economics, it was just such a good mixture of women, and I think it was actually the point of view of several different types of American women. And now it seems like there are 3 women on the show who run the conversation, and they all agree with each other, and the other 2 are kind of just trying to get a word in edgewise. So it's a hard watch. Bill's show is Bill's show. We react to it here. I've made clear how I feel about it. I think, in my opinion, I think he makes really good points. I think he does a good job of kind of calling it like he sees it. And so yeah. But all right, let's see how this is going to play out.
His target was Whoopi Goldberg and the popular talk show The View. However, what was said by Maher, and why did it ignite the internet?
The View is a particularly weird place to do it.
It's called The View.
It's called The View. It's not called The Fact.
In a moment that could only be characterized as pure television gold, Bill Maher delivered a biting indictment of The View and its presenters. Maher was recently asked about the bias of mainstream media, particularly with shows like The View dominating daytime TV, during an interview on Real Time, when Maher boldly said that the show was biased, especially with regard to Whoopi Goldberg. The discussion swiftly became heated.
A view.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view.
Let's be honest, there is no room for sincere discussion of the viewpoint. It functions more like an echo chamber, amplifying some points of view while suppressing others. Even though Whoopi Goldberg is an excellent actor, she doesn't seem to understand politics as a commentator.
And that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's some real shade, right there. People had a lot to say about Bill Maher's remark that Whoopi was a fantastic actress but not a political analyst. But why would he go to such lengths for one of the most recognizable figures in daytime television? Let's dissect it then.
ABC News.
Okay. I do agree. This show, like we just said, listen, YouTube, y'all take my $13.99 every month for premium. There is no reason why my video should be loading like this. All right. The AI situation is already stressing out half of us. But the host of the show here. Okay. But my video is loaded. What's going on? YouTube, I'm paying my bills. Thank you. Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, listen, I too am no political commentator. I think there is space for everyone to speak their mind and want to learn and want to have healthy conversation, even if that means it is confrontational. So I am in no place to say that Whoopi Goldberg shouldn't be in her position. I do not subscribe to the whole like shut up and act, shut up and dribble, shut up and these things. Like I am not someone who believes that actors, athletes, whoever do not have a place to speak on the politics of the country they live in the world or the country that they entertain. Like they have a right to speak. And so I don't subscribe to, I'm not going to say she shouldn't be in her position, but I, again, think when The View started, it wasn't all political commentators at the table. It wasn't always about politics. It was, the show was there was a variety of topics. Barbara Walters, who was an icon, a legend in journalism, was the head of the table. And I think they needed a personality strong enough, but I don't think they were ever going to find a duplicate. I think Whoopi has a strong personality to moderate the table. I just don't know. She's just always so biased. She doesn't try to ever, let me not try to ever. I do not watch this show regularly. Let me be honest about that. But from what I have seen, it doesn't seem that she tries to be fair. She just has her side and she sticks to that. And that the show is called The View. It's supposed to be about perspective, points of view, opinion. And a lot of times it is treated like these women's opinions are facts. And I agree. I agree with what was just said here by the AI host. Let's keep going.
Recognizable figures in daytime television. Let's dissect it then.
Person at ABC News said, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comment.
Naturally, Whoopi Goldberg is no stranger to controversy. She has experienced her share of outrage-inducing situations on The View. Her contentious remarks regarding the Holocaust in 2022, which sparked intense criticism and even a brief suspension from the program, were among the most prominent examples. Whoopi became a lightning rod for criticism from people of all political persuasions when the incident made headlines. Just that remark sparked a flurry of responses, with many criticizing Whoopi of being outdated or disrespectful of history. However, this most recent spat between Whoopi and Bill Maher is about more than just isolated comments. It highlights a more serious problem with the way political opinions are portrayed on television, particularly on shows like The View, where controversy can arise.
They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Bold ideas have always been expressed on The View, but occasionally such opinions appear to conflict with conservative viewpoints, causing a rift. As a self-described liberal libertarian,
I'm going to unfilter this because it's literally the same, just few clips over and over again. Typically, if something has been aired, I'm going to let you in on a little reactor secret. If something has been aired on TV, you want to kind of alter the video so that you are not met with some copyright issues. But these are literally just little clips over and over. So I feel safe. This feels like a safe space. Okay, let's keep going.
Maher has long criticized the way that mainstream liberal media functions, with programs like The View being at the core of his criticism.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy?
Bill Maher is renowned for his unreserved opinions on both political extremes. Whether it's exposing conservative inconsistencies or liberal hypocrisy, even when the subjects are contentious, Bill has always aimed to encourage critical thinking. However, his criticism of The View and Whoopi Goldberg in this instance appears to be more related to the pervasive confirmation bias culture in the media. The issue with programs like The View is that they now emphasize reiterating preconceived notions over fostering free discussion. What happened to
reiterating rather than fostering? I think I agree with that. Again, they kind of just, their rhetoric is, it just feels like He-Man, like, what was the He-Man woman hating club? So this would be He-Woman man hating club. Like, a lot of times it feels like, I think y'all just don't like them and you're not trying to see the good. That's what it often feels like. And it's like, y'all would rather repeat that than stop and have some type of free thinking conversation, or a conversation that opened the door to finding some good or some, compromise or some balance, which I think I try to do often here. And, I'm met with criticism, and that's fine, but I am not someone who picks a side and stays on that side about anything. Except for Jesus. I believe everything can change. Everything can evolve. Everything has the space to be good if allowed. And sometimes it feels like the women on The View just want it to be sour and bad and stinky and nasty. And it's just like, is everything okay at home, ladies? Are y'all, the pessimism is at an all-time high.
reiterating preconceived notions over fostering free discussion? What happened to genuinely hearing different points of view? And this is a crucial element for Maher.
She left us.
Is the
That's what
viewpoint
happened.
actually providing a forum for candid conversation? Or is it merely another way to promote particular political agendas and viewpoints with little opposition? Whoopi Goldberg has established herself as a powerful liberal voice on the subject over the years. Her opinions are generally in line with progressive causes. She frequently speaks out on topics pertaining to women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and racial justice. However, conservatives and those who contend that programs like The View feed a left-wing echo chamber have harshly criticized her for some of her more radical positions, like her criticism of Donald Trump and his administration. Many of Whoopi's remarks are viewed as divisive, particularly when they pertain to Trump and his policies. Although she frequently finds herself supporting the rights of minorities and the underprivileged, her handling of some issues can come out as contemptuous of conservative viewpoints.
Because at the end of the day, Whoopi is a rich one-percenter. And no matter who she's advocating for, she can't really relate to you and I. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. Whoopi has a driver. Whoopi has several homes. Whoopi has hair and makeup on call. Whoopi has a stylist. Like, we don't live that way. And so it's so easy to just like kind of point the finger and be that way when you actually can't relate to the everyday human American. I think like a lot of times, like if we really just pulled back and looked at this, it's like we let these people get us worked up, but they really have, they don't live the same life as us. They're not fighting the same fight as us. They're not affected in the way that we're affected. So they can, first of all, this is their job, but they can be divisive. They can be all these things because they have nothing to lose. If Whoopi lost her job on The View today, she'd be just fine. She has nothing to lose. Maybe people won't like her, but Whoopi doesn't strike me as a type who really cares.
Although she frequently finds herself supporting the rights of minorities and the underprivileged, her handling of some issues can come out as contemptuous of conservative viewpoints. This is the source of Bill Maher's annoyance. The gap between Bill Maher and The View has been caused by a perceived lack of real debate and a reluctance to listen to opinions that are not part of the liberal mainstream. Maher's show, which frequently invites guests from a wide range of political backgrounds, has long taken pride in encouraging difficult dialogues. However, Whoopi and her co-hosts, for better or worse, embody the complete opposite, a setting where some viewpoints are valued above all others, and opposing ones are viewed with suspicion. Bill Maher's remarks undoubtedly caused a lot of social media reactions. While supporters of Goldberg and Maher weighed in to defend their respective icons, others took advantage of the occasion to highlight the weaknesses in both arguments. Not only infrequent viewers left comments, even previous hosts of The View and political commentators offered their opinions. While some supported Whoopi's more progressive approach, others agreed with Maher's position on how The View handles political speech. However, it's certain that Bill Maher has connected with his audience, and people are picking sides. The media...
This is off topic, but not. I love when Whoopi wears her hair in a ponytail or that half up, half down. She looks so youthful. Like, look at that. She looks great. And let's not even start, okay? Relax. Like with the hoop earrings, she looks like Whoopi's like in her, 60s? She looks fantastic.
That Bill Maher has connected with his audience, and people are picking sides. The media responded forcefully on both sides, with conservative publications applauding Maher for exposing the leftist slant of programs such as The View. Liberal networks, meanwhile, backed Whoopi, claiming that her purpose is to provide progressive ideas a platform rather than to participate in debate. And isn't it the main point of contention?
So some people are arguing that Whoopi is meant to be progressive and not even debate. Like her whole MO is to be of the progressive agenda. Okay.
Meanwhile, backed Whoopi, claiming that her purpose is to provide progressive ideas a platform rather than to participate in debate. And isn't it the main point of contention? Whether talk shows and media outlets should serve as forums for genuine discussion, or if they should only promote a specific ideological position. This goes beyond a simple celebrity quarrel or a one-time argument between Maher and Goldberg. This instance highlights the continuous battle for media and television programs to strike a balance between free expression, political correctness, and sincere discussion. Maher is advocating for a more straightforward, no-holds-barred approach to difficult subjects, whereas shows like The View have been criticized for catering to a particular demographic. Not to mention how outspoken Bill Maher's fan base is about this. Many of them long for the candid conversation he fosters on his show. In contrast, The View caters to a viewership that is more interested in hearing the host's points of view than in hearing the thoughts of contentious visitors or opposing views. The problem isn't only that The View lacks the depth of debate Ma longs for. What does all of this indicate for the future of TV talk shows? It's that their biased approach may be affecting a generation of viewers who aren't understanding the complexity of today's issues. Will the way the media covers political topics change soon, or is this just a quick altercation between two titans? Whether you love or dislike Bill Maher's style, he's made a point that can't be ignored. It's time for programs like The View to reevaluate how they influence politics. Naturally, however, only time will tell how this entire story unfolds. Please share your thoughts in the comments section on Bill Maher's remarks against Whoopi Goldberg and The View. Do you think The View does a good job of handling these problems, or do you agree with Maher's criticism? Remember to hit the bell icon, like, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of television politics and all related topics.
So at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, she said Bill Maher's name correctly. But all in between there, it was Whoopi and Maher. That was strange. Anywho, I think I agree with majority of this video. I think The View could benefit from going back to its old formula. But I think it's one of those things. It's like when I was saying, I've been saying a lot recently, right? Like some people just take their position, some production, some head of networks like things the way they are because they know they have guaranteed views and they don't want to shake it up. The View is kind of now known for this with Sunny, Joy, and Whoopi specifically, because I can tell you right now, I don't know the other two's name. I don't know them. I'm not familiar with them. I've watched them. It doesn't stick because they're not controversial in everything they say, and they're not a headline every other day about something weird and off-putting coming out of their mouth. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll change, but it could stand to go back to at least a more diverse panel of thinking, ways of thinking, and just the ability of all the women on the panel to speak their minds freely without being cut off, shot down, belittled, and all these things. Let me know your thoughts. I still don't think there was a dismantling or an outburst, but hey, who am I? I'm just a girl. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like this video, share it with someone you love, and go and have the day you deserve. Bye.